Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. It is a very hot day here in the UK when I'm recording, but when you're listening to this, I'm actually on holiday. I'm in one of my favorite places in the world, which is St Ives, Cornwall. We go there every year with my family. My mum's been going since she was young. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you probably heard me mention it here and there. But yeah, I'll currently be there. But when I'm recording this now, it's the week before, my skin is actually not doing too great. And it's definitely not like it used to be at all. And I wouldn't even call it acne, it's just literally three big spots on my face. But it really has impacted my mood. And just being able to like go to the gym with no makeup on, I've just got so used to it now. I've really not had like one single spot in months and months and months. But when you've had acne for about 10 years of your life, you get really good at knowing your body and knowing what's contributing. So the good thing is I know exactly what's been contributing to it. So yeah, I've just got these like three spots currently on my face, which if you have a face full of acne currently, you're like, get over it. But again, I'm coming from a place of having really clear skin for a long time and just having these breakouts, it's obviously not great. But I am practicing what I preach in doing the mindset work, the reframes, and just putting a plan of action together basically on how to clear it up. So hopefully by the time I've gotten on this holiday, my skin's doing a little bit better. But yeah, it can be quite triggering for symptoms to come back. And they are on the lower half of the face, which people usually think is just hormonally driven or something to do with your estrogen levels. But for me, the spots on my face are 99.9% likely due to me consuming whey protein powder for the past few weeks. So my friend Cassie, she put me onto these grass-fed whey protein snack bars. I even shared them on my Instagram stories. They are very good. They're from Health, and if you're not acne prone, then you will be absolutely fine with these most likely. So it is dairy protein, but whey is very insulinogenic. And when you have breakouts, it can actually just stimulate insulin-like growth factor in the skin. And I think it was just the sheer quantity that I was eating. Some days I was eating two because they have a good, I think 12 grams of protein per bar, and they just taste amazing. So they're these peanut butter, whey protein, coconut oil, chocolate chip bars, and I bought a box and I've just been going through them at least one a day. And yeah, I've only got a couple left, but I've actually put them on pause. And yeah, the spots have stopped forming. So initially it wasn't happening for the first week or two. And then I just started to notice a few more breakouts. And I think the heat as well has just exacerbated it. And now I have these like big three angry spots on my face. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. Let's just stop the trigger. And I do believe I can have them on occasion, but I just don't think it's a good fit right now for my skin. And I can tolerate other protein bars and other forms of dairy. Just whey powder, I just think it's very like stimulating, which is good if you're building muscle, and there are some benefits, and it is a really good form of protein if you can tolerate it. So maybe I'll just go down to like one a week for now as a little treat. But just being off them for a couple of days, my skin is already calming down. So yeah, pinpointed exactly what's going on. And I also have this like clogged pore appearance on my chest, which is a little bit different because that was a bit before. Maybe the protein bars were also like making this not go away as fast, but it actually started after my holiday in Mallorca last month. I put some after sun lotion on my chest, and it was a natural one, but I didn't check the ingredients. But it must have contained some sort of pore clogging ingredients like coconut oil or just thick like oils in general, which my skin doesn't do great on. And whenever I put it on like certain parts of my body, like upper arms, chest, face, it's fine on my lower legs and lower arms when there's less oil glands anyway, but it's just contributes to these clogged pores. And I put some exfoliant on there. I've been trying to get it in the sun and some red light. But I think the fact that I've been on these protein bars has just meant that it's not fully cleared up yet. So if I'm on the trip and you see me posting pictures and my skin is looking clear, the stuff that I've done has worked, thankfully. So I'm going to be doing things like just being really mindful of my hydration, my sleep. For me, zinc is really important for my skin, but it might not be the case for you. I recommend doing a HTMA through my course, I'm balanced to see exactly what your body needs, because some people, too much zinc or zinc for too long can actually contribute to acne, whereas for me, it actually helps to reduce. The other things are coffee enemas, so I might do 1 to 2 a week of those, some liver support, up in some herbal teas instead of just regular caffeine tea. Green powders always help me as well. And I should be good to go, but I thought I'd just do a little vulnerable update and just show that my skin isn't always completely perfect. But I'm so in touch with my body now that I can intervene, jump in, and it's not me just developing acne again. It's me just having a few spots and I can deal with it. I'll be good. But on these holidays that I go on with my family, I actually don't get up to too much. I'll probably just be drinking coffee, lounging around, eating some good food. Pretty much my main family is coming. My granddad's coming, which is lovely. He's staying a little bit out, but he's coming in to the town where we're staying. And it's the first time with my little niece and Luke coming with us. So it's going to be a really fun time. I'll be sharing on social media. So definitely come and follow over at Viva Natural Health if you don't already. And I'll be getting my grounding in on the beach. I'll be doing my daily sea swims. And me and Luke have actually booked to go surfing. Me for the first time. Luke loves surfing and has done it like a few different places. I've done bodyboarding before, scuba diving, paddle boarding, but never surfing. So I'm going to take him to a surfer beach that I usually just go and like eat tapas at. We're going to go surfing in the morning. It's like a nice 2-hour experience. And it is the first time I'm going to be driving down as well. Usually I'm with my mum, and me and Luke are going to be sharing it, going in my car. We're going to take a lot of stuff with us because all the baby stuff for my niece is going to take up quite a bit. And we're going to set off at around 4 a.m. to beat the traffic. So wish me luck with that. But I'm so happy that I can finally enjoy holidays like this. I know I've said it a few times before, but this place in particular, it's such like a lovely place for me. It's so homely and it just has a special place in my heart. But I also have so many sad memories associated, because when I was dealing with my chronic illness, I wouldn't really go on holiday abroad, but the odd year I would go down to Cornwall with my family, and we'd stay in a little B&B. It was this old couple who ran it, and we stayed there for quite a long time, so they knew us. But I would take my own food down. Me and Luke were actually laughing the other day at some of the situations that I got in. Like, I used to take my own duck eggs, like 2 dozen duck eggs, because I couldn't tolerate chicken eggs at the time. And one year I forgot them and I had like a meltdown. And my dad and my brother used to fly down just for the weekend because they couldn't have the full week off with work. So me and my mum was there. And I rang my dad. I was like, Dad, you need to bring these duck eggs when you come in a few days. And then he actually got them confiscated at the airport. And they were like, why do you have so many eggs? It looks very suspicious. And like, they're for my daughter. And he was like really trying to get them, but he was like, no, they're classed as liquids. You can't take them through. And then I was just like crying. I was like, what am I going to eat? And then the lady, the woman who runs the B&B, she was like, you know, we can just order duck eggs for you. We do just breakfast food ordering for ourselves, and they do duck eggs. I was like, oh, that's really convenient. That'd be great. And then I've also took bags of squash down, like kilograms worth of winter squash, because that was one of my safe staple foods. I'd have that at breakfast with almond butter, which is just crazy to think. No wonder I had insulin resistance as well. But I actually was really sensitive to a lot of food. So I would take my George Foreman grill, I would stop off at the Tesco's nearby, I'd store all of my food in this guy's fridge. So I would like take over his kitchen when he'd finished doing the breakfast meals in the morning. And he'd come in, want to try and make lunch and breakfast, and I'd be like, just 5 minutes, Keith, I'll not be too long. And I was using his little oven to roast squash, and they'd take like an hour at a time. I bought a little pan and steamer so I could use it there and have some fresh vegetables. And yeah, my little trusty George Foreman grill, I'd buy at the butcher's some like lamb steaks and turkey steaks, just something that was quick and easy. I couldn't eat regular beef steak at the time, so it was yeah, turkey, lamb, chicken breasts, chicken thighs. And I just cook it on the little grill in the hotel room on my own while my family were out eating at the restaurant. And they would try and persuade me to come and tell me that it'd be fine, but I was just so scared, honestly, and so desperate to heal that I was like, no, I can't be exposed to any potential allergen triggering food, inflammatory oil, because I just want to heal my gut so desperately. My skin was always awful. Interestingly, though, it used to clear up a little bit. Some of my symptoms did used to get better when I was there, and now I realize it's because my home at home was experiencing toxic mold at the time. So even within a week of being away, I started to feel a little bit less brain foggy, a little bit more energized, but still pretty sick. There'd be days where I'd have full body prickly heat and sunstroke because I'd just overheat and have poor heat tolerance. The bathrooms were pretty small, so if I was having a shower at the end of the day, it would get quite steamy in there. And I've fainted a couple of times and actually had a seizure in the shower. You might remember a few years ago, it must have been like 5 years ago now, on the drive home, my mum was driving one year and I actually had a seizure in the passenger seat on the motorway. And that was due to us going to a lovely Thai restaurant the night before, and they must have used MSG, and I had a severe MSG reaction where I was vomiting and yeah, trying to like basically open the door. I was completely out of it at the time, but apparently I was trying to open the door on the motorway. My mum was trying to drive, there was nowhere to stop. And that was a chaotic drive home, as you can imagine, a lovely 6, 7, 8 hour trip. And then we got to our front door. My mum realised she didn't have the house keys. So we had to then drive to my dad's work, which was another hour trip. And I was just like dying in the in the passenger seat. And just day to day, I couldn't really walk around. It's quite a hilly place. And even though we weren't really doing anything strenuous throughout the day, just me walking up and down the hills, and at the end of the day walking up the stairs to our room. We were always, for some reason, on the top floor, and there was no lift. It's like this cute little B&B, this old house, and I was on like the 4th floor and just so exhausted. Whereas now, because that feels like I was a different person, it feels like a completely different life. Now I can completely enjoy my holidays. I can eat pretty much anything that I want to. I just choose to be gluten-free, even though the odd like exposure is fine. I don't have any reactions from it. My lab test says a little bit different. It shows that I was reacting to gluten, but yeah, I don't have any like symptoms afterwards. I don't get bloated. My skin is usually clear. Energy is good. I can go surfing. I can lay in the sun all day. I can swim in the sea, and it's just so lovely. And I knew that this was possible one day, and I'm just so grateful to be living it, to have faith and have trusted in my body, and to be out the other side. And it honestly does feel like a lifetime ago. So if you are currently relating to any of this kind of stuff, just know that healing is possible. It just takes time. I didn't realize when the last quote bad holiday was, though. It just happens so gradually, and you often don't realize that you're healing a lot of the time until your symptoms are gone, or someone points something out to you and you've forgot that you had that, or you hadn't noticed it about yourself. So I can't remember I didn't know at the time that the last Christmas that I was really restricted and sick was then. I didn't know that the last holiday that I couldn't enjoy myself was then. So just know that this summer might be the last summer that you're feeling the way that you do. So today's episode is for those of you who are short on time, busy, maybe you have children, you have a full-time job, maybe you just have zero energy and are struggling with your health, you have brain fog, and you just want really simplistic, easy wins. This was recommended by someone to me for me to record. So if you do have a suggestion, because I'm open and willing to record what you guys need, just let me know. And I would recommend taking notes as you go through, and just listen out for the odd small change that you could make in your own life. I don't expect you to do all of them. You might already be doing a lot of them, but I want you to come away from this episode today feeling more empowered, inspired, with some different options that you might not have thought of, rather than overwhelmed. So the first category is food. Here are some things that you can do with your food to just make some simple little swaps. The first one is to order food and products online and make the most of this super convenient option that we do have these days. And you can schedule regular deliveries in your calendar. I know it's nice to go to a supermarket and to shop around and have a look around. I'm actually a big fan of that. And I still do that on occasion. Like after the gym, I have a Sainsbury's right nearby, so I just go in there. But I do have online companies that I use for deliveries. So I can get some products that they don't sell in the supermarkets, or if I'm running low on something and I don't have time to go to the shops. So the companies that I use are Well Easy, which is my favorite online healthy supermarket, mainly for groceries and kitchen staples as opposed to fresh foods, but they've started doing fish even on there, really good quality fish. The other place that I use is Ocado, but even just general supermarkets, maybe Asda or M&S. This is obviously in the UK, it might be different for you, Target or Walgreens if you're in the US. Taking advantage and making the most of these online deliveries. It doesn't mean that you're lazy, it actually just means that you care about your time. And it's actually super convenient when looking at ingredients of things and allergen lists. You can filter, at least on the websites that I use, filter your dietary preferences, save your favorite products. So you don't have to keep like trying to remember what you have. And you can set it up just automated to be delivered a certain day of the month or every few months. It doesn't have to be a weekly schedule. But then you can have a little browse and go through different categories in the comfort of your own home, or when you're multitasking, maybe you're going for a walk as your workout for the day. At the same time, can you order your online groceries and just know that they're going to turn up at your home and you don't have to like travel to and from the shops? And maybe when you're feeling better and have more energy, you do one weekly food shop instead of just buying little bits here and there. It really depends person to person. These are general suggestions. So I know some of you love just stopping by the shops every couple of days and picking up what you need day to day because you don't know what you feel like. But then there's other people who that would make them feel like they have to like go for a takeout, or they get decision fatigue. So for them, having a plan of meals that they're going to have every week and switch it up so you don't get bored, or having ingredients in the fridge that you have to use, that makes them a little bit more creative and keeps them on track. Tip number 2 is to cook once and eat multiple times. This is basically meal prep, but instead of prepping a cottage pie and a lasagna and tuna pasta, just prep ingredients instead of meals, because you will probably get bored if you're eating shepherd's pie for your lunch every single day. So instead of making meals like that, why not roast a whole chicken? Roast a tray of sweet potatoes and vegetables, get some or make some healthy sauces and dips. There's brands like Hunter and Gather available from Well Easy, love them. Olive oil mayo, the barbecue sauce, really good. You've got them in the cupboard or in the fridge ready to go, or just make a little batch of guacamole or salsa, or just like I'm trying to think, like sour cream and chive dip. You can make it with like some organic sour cream and fresh chives, as easy as that. And then you can like mix and match what you need. So put a different carb with it, a different sauce with it, and that'll depend on how you're feeling in the day. So if you're gonna put in the effort of cooking, why not make 2, 3, 4 times extra? Even if you're a family, you're already used to making maybe 3 to 4 servings, just double it and make extra. Then you can store it in the fridge for leftovers, and maybe you have what you had for dinner last night for lunch the next day. Or if you're histamine sensitive, like I can be, you can freeze the leftovers. So instead of putting them in the fridge, you would put them in the freezer, and that's going to really halt the histamine process, but still means that you can have this organization and you don't have to cook from scratch every single day, because I know that that can be very draining. Food tip number 3 is to check out appliances like slow cookers. My favorite is the Instant Pot, especially for winter meals. I don't use it as much in the summer. I'm not a huge fan of air fryers because they often contain this non-stick toxic lining inside, but if it does mean that you using an air fryer, it's going to be more convenient for you, you're going to cook from home a lot more, you're going to enjoy cooking, you're going to get the healthy foods in, I would say that there's more pros than cons to that. Even just short term, while you're trying to heal, I know it's not perfect, but I'd rather you get the healthy foods in and be cooking fresh foods than ordering a takeaway and not really prioritizing cooking. So slow cookers, Instant Pots are really good at just making really nutrient dense foods. You can put them on in the morning and have them cook all day. Even in summer, I know you don't really want to be eating a hot hearty stew, but you can serve things with salads or lighter sides. And I still eat things like that in summer. I like the Chinese medicine aspect, especially if you're struggling with digestive issues. I would still say eat warm and cooked foods. Or with the Instant Pot, you don't have to have it on all day. You can just pressure cook something in a couple of hours that could usually take 10 to 12. So check out those things. There's different variations of the Instant Pot, and that does act like a slow cooker too. It has a steamer function, a soup maker function. So that's my top tip. And it has a stainless steel insert as well. And then you just shove that in the dishwasher and you have one pan to clean up. Food tip, well, kind of food tip number 4 is a supplement organizer. And you can get really cute ones on Amazon. I just have like a little tray one, and it's got 7 individual organizers. And then for me, it's pretty easy, just day to day to get them out and sort them out. But if you're brand new or if you're struggling to do that, you can arrange everything at the weekend. So put in your morning supplements Monday to Sunday, all ready to go, and then you don't even need to think about it the rest of the week. If you have to set up reminders on your phone, leave them in places that you can see next to your toothbrush, leave your supplements on the kitchen table where you're going to be eating breakfast. That's fine. Just put them where you can see them, not hidden away in the cupboard, and you're going to miss it. And you might even want to set little alarms on your phone to go off when you need to take them, just until you get into the swing of things. Next one is get yourself a nice big cute water bottle. My recommendations would be something made from stainless steel, glass, even the Stanley Cup. I know people are worrying about the lead, but that's actually not in the main part of the container. It's actually in the base bit, so you're not really going to be smashing that up and drinking it. I've just got a nice one. I got it from the store Jysk, which is kind of like an IKEA shop, but it's stainless steel inside, making sure you're washing them out really well too, because they can get pretty manky inside of there after a while. And when you've carrying this around with you, people call it an emotional support water bottle. I completely agree with that. But keeping it at the side of your bed overnight, and in the morning, just drink 1 litre of room temperature water. And then you've pretty much like a third of the way through your goal. So the goal is 2 to 3 litres a day. We don't want freezing cold, icy drinks, even in summer, ideally. And even more important when you're dealing with digestive issues, hormone imbalances, we want room temperature or warm fluids whenever possible. So drinking a big litre first thing in the morning when we are the most dehydrated is just going to set you up on a positive foot, and then you would just need to drink like the rest of it throughout the day. Between meals is the ideal, because drinking too much alongside a meal can actually dilute your stomach acid. And you can add things to the drink as well. So first thing in the morning, get your water bottle filled up again and add some extra benefits to your drink. You can add electrolytes if needed. Most people do benefit, and you can check your own unique needs. Again, in my I'm Balanced Mineral course, you can find that on the website. You get a HTMA test in there, and it tells you how much electrolytes or what ratios you're going to need based on your levels. In winter, I even, first thing in the morning, brew a few tea bags. So I might have like a ginger, nettle, tulsi. All of these are very anti-inflammatory, antihistamine as well. In winter, I'll drink them hot. So I'll get a separate flask that's a hot flask, prepare it in the morning, and then I've just got it for the rest of the day, and it should stay pretty warm. Or in summer, you can just let that cool down. So brew it in the morning, let it cool. You can add a few ice cubes just to cool it, but we don't want an icy drink, if you know what I mean. The ice is just to bring it down to room temperature. And then that's going to give you additional herbal medicine benefits along with your hydration. So you can do tulsi, nettle for the antihistamines, or maybe before your period, you'll have in red raspberry leaf and ginger instead. So just switching up your herbs. You're going to be drinking water anyway, so why not just add a little bit extra effort and get some medicinal benefits. Swapping your coffee to organic. My favorite is King coffee, King of Coffee. It's a reishi mushroom infused coffee, or even matcha if you're currently drinking like Costa coffee or Nescafe. There's really no great benefits to that, and actually more problems with the pesticides and potential mold contamination. So it doesn't mean that you have to cut out coffee. If you're really exhausted and you need that, that's absolutely fine for some people, but just swapping it to a better quality is a small, simple shift that you can make. So having a matcha green tea or a king coffee or just organic coffee in general or a herbal tea, the quality is just super important. And I know it doesn't seem like a big shift, just swapping a certain products over, but it does add up over time. Last couple now on the food front is to prep some really easy or have on hand some really easy nutrient dense foods, things like hard-boiled eggs or yogurts, some good quality protein bars or shakes. And in my recent episode, I did like favorite products. You can find my favorite ones on there. Maybe not if you're acne prone, the whey protein ones, but you never know, you might be absolutely fine with them. Or there's beef sticks or jerky available on Well Easy, packs of nuts, some fruit either ready to eat or just, yeah, like an apple or something ready to go. But if you're out and about, it doesn't have to be that you fall off the wagon, so to speak, with your diet. Even if you're trying to find lunch out and about, the supermarket's always going to have packs of cooked meat, chicken. They're going to have some hard-boiled eggs in the lunch section. They're going to have some prawns or shrimp if you're in the US, and you can buy some like cut-up vegetable sticks. They're always readily available. But if you want to be extra prepared, if you're going on a road trip or work trip, take some snacks with you, take some protein bars and a little protein shaker, get some sachets of collagen so you can add that to your coffee or your drinks throughout the day. And then if you need to, you can buy some extra fresh foods. If you're going on a trip or a work event, some people do benefit, and I think I would at the time that I was struggling with my health, booking an Airbnb. It wasn't my choice because I was staying with my parents, but having a kitchen of my own would have helped. And then you could just go to the supermarket when you get there, get some fresh foods, get some kitchen staples, and then you don't really need to think of it for the rest of the week. Maybe spend a couple of hours doing some meal prep, and then everything's good to go for the duration of your trip. And the overall summary for this is that preparation and organization is absolutely key. So I hope you find those ones useful. Exercise section is a little bit shorter, but it is to schedule your workouts in your calendar and stick to it. I agree when people say that the best way to increase your confidence is to keep the promises that you make to yourself. So if every day you think, I'm going to go to the gym later or in the morning, and you don't do it, you're actually reducing your confidence. So you thinking of something and sticking to your own goals, it actually increases your confidence, and then you feel more capable to do more difficult things. So just like you would a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, meeting up with a friend, it goes in the calendar, and try and stick to it as much as possible. So on a Sunday, plan your workouts for the rest of the week and be realistic. If you're currently doing nothing, don't put an hour and a half every single day of a type of exercise that you hate. Just start at where you're at. So maybe it's just twice a week until you're in the swing of things with that, and then it can be built a little bit more. A workout doesn't have to be 60 minutes either, an hour. I just had this belief for some reason that it has to be an hour, but it could be for 20 minutes, and that's better than nothing. You could even do home workouts. So my friend Ash, who I met at the Mallorca retreat that I was at, she has a app, and it's actually designed for busy mums, but I love it and use it myself. So it's the Studio Ash Pilates, and she has a discount code for us. I'm pretty sure it's Viva or Viva 10, and that gets you 10% off her subscriptions, whether you're paying monthly or paying annually. And I'm obsessed with it. I've done so many other Pilates apps, and hers is my current favorite. So you could multitask even. You don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to pay for a gym membership. And I love Pilates because, especially in this weather, it doesn't get you super, super sweaty. It's a good workout, and there are some cardio-esque ones on there that do build up a bit of the sweat, but just for like the booty burners and things, because they're short and sweet and you're not jumping around, you get a nice workout, a nice burn in the muscles, but without pumping with sweat. So you could even fit it in between work calls if you have to do that. Another thing that I love, number 2 for the exercise section, is multitasking or habit stacking. So as you're doing emails, can you go out for a walk instead? Or when you're taking a phone call, instead of just sitting there on your couch, can you get up and go for a walk outside and get some extra steps in? I have a desk treadmill, a standing desk with a little walking pad underneath. That has been one of the best investments, not only for my business, that definitely was a business expense, because depending on the level that you go to, they can get pretty pricey, but mine was quite reasonable. I got my desk off eBay and I got my walking pad off Home Fitness Code, it's called. I have a little highlight on my Instagram. It's called favorite products. I think I've linked it on there. But if I'm reading a book now, if I've just been sat down and sedentary a lot of the time, I'll just stand on my walking desk. Or if I'm watching a YouTube video, I might even do Pilates whilst listening to a podcast. I might listen to a voice note from a friend just as I'm doing some air squats or something. And at this recent health summit that I went to in London, one of the guys there, Mike Mutzel, he said these little exercise snack breaks throughout the day where you just get up and do 10 air squats or just run up and down the stairs a few times can actually be more effective breaking up and doing it more frequently throughout the day rather than one giant workout first thing and then you're sat on your bum all day. So yeah, running up and down the stairs, you're going to get a little bit out of breath, but it's not going to get you super sweaty or exhausted. And they've done studies where someone's gone on one 45-minute walk in one go or 3 15-minute walks, and the 3 15-minute walk one actually did a lot better for just general health. And then last one for exercise is just the basic things that we hear about, but just sneaking in more movement throughout the day. So if you are going to the supermarket, can you park a bit further away rather than circling around trying to get a space closest to the entrance? Or if you get the bus or you get the tube somewhere, can you get off 1 or 2 stops before and just walk the rest of the way and just get your steps in? Maybe finish up a few emails on the go, finish off the podcast or order your food, your supplements for the week. That's another thing that I do. I don't think I've put it in another section, but every month on the first of the month, I order my supplements. Sometimes I forget the odd 1 or 2. It just happens. It's bound to happen. But I'll do one big order, and even I order things for my family and friends now. I'll do one big order on the first of the month, and then I'm covered for the rest of the month. Most of them last 30 days. You get a good supply of them, so I don't even need to think about it. And third category is mindset and stress. So similar to exercise, I'd rather you do little things throughout the day for your stress rather than one huge Zen morning routine, but then the rest of the day you're stressed out your mind and are running non-stop. So for me, a minimum 5-minute morning and evening routine, which are the bookends of your day, has the biggest impact. It has a huge knock-on effect on the rest of your day. So for this, I say to have a little selection of things that you want to go for instead of just doing the same meditation every day. Start to save and download and favorite your favorite meditations, or I didn't even realize that you could do this, but if you like download someone's meditation, you can save it on your home screen of your smartphone, just so you don't have to keep finding the link in your emails. So just, yeah, have a look how to do that. A gratitude practice, visualization, just being really mindful of your thoughts during this time. Instead of worrying about what's to come or how much you've got to do for the day, think about what could go well. How do you want the day to go? And then last thing at night, instead of beating yourself up about all the things that you didn't get to tick off your list or how embarrassing it was that you did this certain thing, think of everything that did go well, things that you're grateful for, things that you're excited about tomorrow, or just learning lessons. If you do want to do a bit of reflection, that's fine, but not beating yourself up because you can't change the past. The classic example is someone who wakes up and they just spiral into having a bad day. So maybe you wake up late and then you're already stressed, and then you think the whole day is ruined. So then you spill milk all over the kitchen, you get stuck in traffic, someone says something bad to you, someone cuts you off when you're driving, and that is just your brain finding more examples of how bad everything is as the day goes on. Instead, we can do the opposite. We can kind of accept little things that happen and just let it pass us by, let it flow past us, and then focus on what is going right and what we can be excited about. and what we can feel grateful for in that moment. Number 2 for the mindset and stress is to eat the frog. You might have heard this saying or read the book. If not, it just means starting your day with the most difficult or least enjoyable task. And that way you can take it off your to-do list. And that is such a big motivation. So if there's something that's lingering, some phone call you need to make to the energy supplier or some sort of work email that you have to do that first, because then you'll be like, amazing, done it, I've done the hard work. And then you already feel accomplished for the rest of the day and everything else on the list seems much more doable. Number 3 is during the day, focus on just 3, maximum 5 things that you need to do in a day, because feeling overwhelmed can cause anxiety and this feeling of paralysis. Then if you still have time and energy and want to do a little bit more, you can do. But it's not that the list is going to be a mile long every single day, because that is just going to stress you out. So 3 to 5 days, but 3 to 5 things a day that you really need to do to move the needle forward in your life. And then if you still got time and energy and want to do more, you can do after that. Next is little check-ins throughout the day, as I said at the start. Rather than a big meditation session and then nothing, I'd rather you have a 5-minute morning routine and then throughout the day, either every hour on the hour or just these little triggering moments throughout the day, meal times, every time you go to the bathroom, every time you enter or leave your house, every time you're at a red traffic light when driving, have these as signals and reminders to check in with our body, check in with your posture. Are you hunched over? Are you holding your breath? Are you tight and tense and clenching your teeth? Or are you relaxed, shoulders back, breathing deep into the abdomen through your nose and in a positive headspace? That is going to be way more effective. Speaking of mini breaks, so we have these little exercise, movement breaks throughout the day. We have these little like reset mindful moments. Another one, if you can, just take it at your own speed again. You don't need to do all of these if you're just starting from scratch, but mini light breaks. And you can combine all of these. So maybe every hour on the hour or every 2 hours, go outside, put your feet on the ground, let the sun in your eyes, take a big deep breath, check in with your posture, give yourself a little hype up with your mindset. Like, I've got this. I am calm. I am safe. Another big one for women. But the little mini light breaks are also going to support your hormonal health, your circadian rhythm, your body clock. It's going to have a knock-on effect on your sleep. It tells the body and the brain what time of day it is. Because if we're indoors all day, just behind a screen, that is the same spectrum of blue light constantly. And certain hormones need to be produced at certain times. So no wonder we have a lot of hormone imbalances around these days, because a lot of us are just indoors behind screens and we're not in touch with nature like we should be. On the same subject, getting light in the morning, using blue light blocking glasses and filtering the blue light from screens, devices, room lighting at night is key. There are settings available on smartphones to make your screen go completely red, or just turn up the warmness, turn down the brightness. You can download certain filter applications on your laptop. One of them is called Flux, F.lux. It's free. There are blue light blocking glasses from Boncharge that you can get and just putting them on at sunset and still going about your activities, cooking dinner, reading a book, but at least you protecting your brain and supporting your sleep, because that is when we heal and repair. So it's literally as easy as ordering some glasses, and they're not all created equal. So I would recommend really good quality companies like Boncharge. I have a discount code, pretty sure it's Fever, for 15% off. It's linked in the show notes. But once you've got the glasses, you've got them for life, as long as you take care of them. And then it's just a matter of putting them on your face and leaving them on until you go to bed. How easy is that? And just to wrap it all up, if you are just feeling overwhelmed in general, sometimes you don't actually need something else on your plate. Sometimes you just need to take something off your plate and just do nothing. It might be you just laying on the couch instead of trying to fit a meditation in or a workout. Sometimes you do just need to do nothing and just relax and read a book or mindfully drink a cup of tea. But this depends on you. You're going to know more intuitively what you need, because sometimes we just procrastinate and we're just being a little bit lazy, honestly, and because we don't want to do the workout. I used to do this. It's like, oh, my body wants to rest, but it was actually me just being lazy. So when I did some subconscious reprogramming, I started to think of what I do really want and what's going to be the most supportive thing. I realized sometimes doing the workout and just turning up at the gym, even if I plan to be there for just 5 minutes, as soon as I've like done 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, I can do a little bit longer. That always happens. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you just don't know what to do, where to start, then sometimes working with a practitioner can be the best thing because they're going to help you have some sort of direction, support, and clear goals. And this is important for your subconscious mind. And it really quietens down that monkey mind when you have a professional and expert guiding you on your journey. So many times people say, before we've even had the first session, as soon as they sign up to work with me, they automatically feel this weight lifted off their shoulders because they now have someone guiding them on their journey. And just make a plan of action, maybe spend some time after this podcast or this weekend to sit down and really review back your notes from today or listen again if you need to, and just see what simple swaps and shifts that you can make. But if you are already doing a lot of this stuff and you're like, okay, I'm doing all of that, but I really just feel like I need some accountability and support, then my one-to-one hormone reset package is currently open for enrollment. I'm taking on 2 new clients this month, so get in touch if you are interested. There is an application form on my website or an option to book a 30-minute enrollment call so we can chat further. And the website does share a little bit more about the details, but basically, if you didn't know, it's my signature 6-month package. It was formerly called the Root Cause Relief. Now it's the Hormone Reset. You get access to functional lab testing, including a complimentary HTMA, which is my favorite functional lab test to look at stress and nervous system, because sometimes it's not that we are like really busy and overwhelmed, it's just that we feel it because our nervous system is completely jacked up and dysregulated. So sometimes it's just building the tolerance of the body, the resilience. It means that we can feel a lot more relaxed and it feels like we can handle life a little bit more. So you get a complimentary HTMA, but then also lifetime access to my client community and my hormone reset library, which is a vault of education, healing tools, over 25 hours and counting. I'm going to continue to add to that. It really is my life's work, and I would love to share that with you. So I hope that helps. Everything is linked in the show notes. If I've mentioned the package or the I'm Balanced Mineral course, you want to send me a message, another request for a solo episode, I'm always open to them. So just start it one thing at a time, and remember that slow and steady wins the race when it comes to healing. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you back here next week for another episode.
I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I would love for you to leave me a rating and review on your podcast app, as this helps to support the show and it allows it to reach more people with this valuable information. Come and say hi over on Instagram. I'm at Viva Natural Health. And if you haven't already, check out my website, vivanaturalhealth.co.uk, for tons more free resources and to discover how I could support you further. I currently offer one-on-one consultation packages if you want my top level support, then more affordable group programs and self-paced online courses. So there really is something for everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode.